Welcome to Red Hot Marriage, where we talk about marriage, healing, recovery, and of course, establishing a red hot marriage.
That's right. So we are going to have fun unpacking some of the topics that have come up in many sessions that we've had before. And after being pastors for pretty much all our lives,
Pretty much.
we have learned some things, and we love to share this with the audience that maybe you find yourself in a place where it's challenging, or maybe you are thriving in your marriage, but that is always a hope to have conversations that will be able to help
Yeah,
couples
and
out
I
there.
think that there's not a uh, like a level that you reach.
No.
It's always like a continuation and always an improvement. Things that you can do to always improve, and that's why in Red Hot Marriage we always say it's not a destination; it is a journey.
It is. It is. And we've been married almost for it's going to be 31 years.
31 years.
31 years. So that's a long time. And
Yeah,
we have gotten a little bit of experience along the way. So
the
we,
good, the bad, and the ugly.
then the ugly. And we like to share mostly the ugly part because that's a part that I wish someone would have shared with us
Yes,
starting
absolutely.
off. So it may feel like, okay, man, they're talking about everything. They're going deep. Yeah, we go deep real fast. And because we want for people to hopefully glean from the experience and they don't have to go through it. Okay, so it's in hopes to give you hope for your marriage too.
A place where you can find tools and continue to grow.
That's right. That's right. So we always like to start with a question, and the question we try to make it fun, and this is always intended so you can maybe go and do that question with your spouse and build some connection there. So we're going to keep it fun. All right. So if you could eat one food the rest of your life, what would it be? Only one food.
One food,
Yeah.
like a certain cuisine,
Doesn't matter.
or
It could be
just
cuisine, it could be food, it could be
oh.
whatever.
Well, I'm Mexican, so I love Mexican food. So I would say Mexican food.
Okay, okay. For me, it would be Thai food. I
Thai food,
love Thai
yeah, you
food.
love Thai
So,
food.
yeah. So, this is good. So, you can maybe plan a date for your spouse. Hey, that's her favorite. I'm going to plan a date for them with Mexican food or Thai food. So,
Yes,
I'll take that invitation anytime, baby.
that's fantastic.
Yeah. So today's question, this is something that we've worked with couples and we've had a lot of conversations, even in our private time, on how to navigate this, because this is something that comes up and people really tend to get stuck in this area. And it is in how do I talk to my spouse about something that I need to say to them, but I am afraid or hesitant on the response that they'll have. And I'll give an example here. So I know that in the past we have found ourselves where I didn't want to come to you and tell you something because I didn't want to make you feel bad. I didn't want to, maybe poke a little bit the bear that I knew was there. And then you would do kind of the same thing with me too. So we were at this standstill in our relationship where we really couldn't talk about things that were really pressing, that were really hard, but because we were afraid of how maybe we were trying to control how the other one would respond. No, and I know in counseling so many couples through the years, we have seen that happen time and time again, where the spouse doesn't want to hurt their spouse by saying something that would maybe feel the other spouse feel bad. And we're talking more about in the area of recovery. Whenever you're going through recovery and your partner is having some thoughts about that are, just challenging for them. They want to bring something up because it's bothering them, but then they're so concerned about how the other will feel that then they just don't say anything. So
Yeah.
then they are stuck. They're stuck in that place of like, okay, how do I communicate this without hurting them, without making them feel shame, guilt, bad. All of those words is words that we have heard.
That's such a difficult situation. And I think there's different levels to this. Like if a couple was going through this at the beginning of their recovery experience, they're trying to mend the relationship, they're trying to repair the relationship, it's going to be really, really difficult for them to voice these
Yeah.
things in their mind. And they're going to need a lot of help to get to that point and learn and become aware of the things they need to share and how do they share it in order to bridge that gap and let the conversations flow, let the healing begin, all the things that need to happen for the couple to come back. And another part to that is like whenever you have thoughts inside your head, we've talked about this, and many of the problems that we faced is because those thoughts live in our own mind. You cannot read my mind. I cannot, definitely not read your mind. And so then we need to learn how to bridge that gap.
What do you think bridging the gap looks like in a practical way? Maybe even things that we've done for that have helped us, that have helped. Let's talk about
Yeah,
your
sure,
side.
yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about your side. Like what are some things that have helped you really be able to just like say it? So I know that we had talked in a few episodes before. We talked about our favorite couple, our TV couple, Randall and Beth, and how they do hypotheticals and they just like say things right off the cuff, like whatever it is that they're fearing. If it is like, well, you're gonna leave me and I'm gonna stay by myself and I'll be an old lady, and then the other one says, well, you are going to just hate me the rest of your life, and they just say these things out loud instead of carrying them.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the worst fear. So that is a practice that really does work when you are getting just offloading whatever thoughts are there, right? There's no answer. There's no like, let me fix it. It's just really speaking it so it doesn't live inside of you. So that's one way that we've seen that really works. That whatever.
And we've done that before, even in our own marriage. It's not like the way we see it on TV, but I know that we have had to face and say that, like the worst things that can happen. And once that is out, like you feel lighter. You say it in the presence. The other person doesn't say anything, just listens. You just listen to it, but at least you don't carry it. It doesn't become a weight that you have to carry everywhere you go, around the house, around your wife, around your husband. It's out. And I think that it's important to, even at that point, those moments, you can call them, let's have a worst case scenario session or whatever. But like that, you have a common language. Again, having a common language for those things is communication. Like you're describing a moment that you're going to engage in, and you're just going to share some thoughts. And it's important because whenever you say that, the other person knows, and you create that moment and you're able to share it.
Yeah, and it creates that safety too, that we can just share anything that we've been carrying, where I know that it's going to be received well, and that it's going to be out of me. I don't have to worry about it. Now, the things that we worry about, are they going to necessarily play out? No, but we're still carrying them, and we're still, it's holding some emotional energy for sure, just carrying those things. So I was sharing this the other day, and I was talking about like sometimes it is really challenging for women to be present in the moment of talking to their husbands and all that, because they've been carrying 20 things in their little list of all the things, right, that they haven't been able to voice because of fear of making the other spouse feel bad, or because it is something that they know may stir up the pot a little bit. So right there, it's important to have some kind of safety, that you have safety with your partner, that you're able to share things openly, and you're able to bring these things to the surface. Because if not, you're both hiding. You're in this marriage, but you're both hiding. You're not living fully, the way that God intended you to live. You're hiding from each other the way you're really feeling. And it's really a form of control too, for either spouse, because you're trying to control the outcome, the narrative of what will take place in the relationship. And when one person is controlling the narrative, you're in prison, because you're not being authentic. You are using filters to talk to each other, and it never creates anything good. Nothing good comes out of that.
Someone said it the other day. It feels like you're editing yourself in real time.
Yeah, Katie did.
And you don't want that. Like you want to create an environment where you're able to share even the worst thing in your mind, and share even some of your, like if you messed up, and in the case of recovery, like if you had you acted out, and you're in this process, even if it's gonna hurt your wife, you should have the safety to say that. And I know this is a hard conversation, but like honesty is always going to be better than keeping it.
Yeah.
And keep it and carrying that weight all over at all times around the house, around your wife. So that's like an important thing to do.
And I mean, the majority of the work that we do is with couples that are in recovery, that are recovering from some kind of sexual betrayal, sexual addiction. And these are the couples that we find that tend to get stuck a lot in this area where they don't know.
It's a pattern. It's a known pattern.
It really is a
Yeah.
known pattern there where they don't know how to communicate what is going on inside of them. So then for the sake of holding peace in their home, then they just stop communicating altogether,
Yeah.
and they don't share the things that they're supposed to be sharing with each other. So in counseling couples and sitting with them and mentoring them and coaching, individuals that are stuck in this place, one thing that I know that we've shared with them before is the importance of allowing that spouse to carry the weight,
Yes.
to carry the full weight of whatever their actions cost, right? And I think initially in our own recovery, even I remember thinking like, well, I don't want to make him feel bad. I don't want to make him feel bad. And then later I learned from therapists and from working with, different couples too, was like, wait, he has to feel the burden of guilt, not shame,
Yeah.
but guilt. Initially it'll feel like shame, because it's like, I am just the worst of the worst, right? But then that eventually transforms as you're working through this. It transforms into guilt. Like, yeah, what I did had this consequence, right?
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, and then after guilt comes empathy. Wow, now I can sit in that space of like, that I never want to do that again. But those are the steps of recovery. And when a wife decides that she is going to filter herself to her husband and not share really what she's really carrying, right? To control the narrative, to kind of keep the peace, to not bring it up again, all the things that we hear, right?
Yeah.
She's not allowing him to grow.
Right.
And to move through the process that is necessary for him to grow.
And I think you even like lied to yourself that you're doing it to protect him.
True.
Right. And that's not the case. Like you're trying to, like in all the process of recovery, you're trying to protect yourself, and you're trying to also to manage every part of your world, and even some of those parts that are not manageable.
Yeah.
You cannot manage everything in your surroundings, but one thing that you can do, you can be honest. And let your honesty fall on your partner that you've developed trust, that you've been walking with through the season of recovery and repair, that he's going to be able to carry this and hold it in a way that he can. And you get to experience that moment. And that creates a really difficult moment, yes, but also it creates a moment of connection.
So what would you say to the men maybe that are listening in today and they're in that space where their wife is like being activated and like they don't know, they see that she is quiet because that's a big telltale sign, right?
Yeah.
But like, what would you tell them that they can do in those moments when she just kind of like goes inward and shuts down?
It's very important to be completely honest. But it all begins with identifying and seeing and be able to communicate her body language and saying, like if I was talking to you, you were experiencing that moment, I would say something along the lines of, honey, in the past couple of days, I've seen you like sad. I've seen you quiet. I've seen you with like your shoulders are down. If that's what I'm noticing, right? And then I would ask the question, honey, you can tell me anything. It doesn't matter how hard it is. It doesn't matter what's on your mind. You can tell me. Like I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And then kind of leave it open for her to step into that moment. And if she's not ready for that, it's okay. But you made yourself available for her to engage. That's like you open the door.
That's great advice.
You open the door. And if you open the door and if she doesn't walk through that door, And if you continue to see this, you might want to continue to open the door later on. But you want to make sure that you're like in a way bold about it. And I want to share something that happened to me in the process of recovery that really I think healed part of my life in a deep way. In a certain point in our recovery, what happened to me was that and this is the way I faced me being honest. I had to draw like a really clear line, a real strong line inside myself that said it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how Diana is going to receive this. I'm going to share it as hard as it is. Like I don't even care. Like if and this is like earlier in our recovery, and this is how like brutal and how strong like inside of me had to be in order for me to reach this point of being honest. And inside of me I said, if I say this and Diana leaves, it's gonna be hell and it's gonna be hard, but my soul is gonna be good because I'm gonna be honest with her with anything that I'm carrying in my heart and in my mind. And that's the way I've approached it now. Like inside of me, it's not that strong now because I've kind of walked through it. I'm good with it, but it still carried that conviction that even the truth that I have to tell you, I'm gonna say it, and it doesn't matter how hard it is, because it's gonna be truth. And then later on, I can deal with if I said it too harshly, like the other day, I said something stupid, right? Like I had to go back and say, "Well, I'm sorry," but and explain like really what I was feeling. But that is what men that are walking through this, they have to take a bold stand of integrity, of honesty, of openness within themselves, and then from there let it flow to their wife. And I feel that if they take that risk, and I call it the risk of the relationship, right? Because they're taking the risk, and it's gonna be bold and it's gonna be strong, and they have to take that step. And that's the way I've done it. So I think this might help someone.
Honey,
out there.
that's amazing. And I'll tell you, when you started doing that, the level of respect that I had for you like shot up off the roof. That because I had never seen you really acting and stepping into this your masculinity in the way that you did. And I think I've been waiting for a long time. I think that that's a part too that sometimes men get it, especially when you've been raised in church and you have been conditioned to respond in a certain way, to be a nice guy. We've talked
Nice
about
guy.
that. We hate nice guys.
No nice guy.
There's no nice guys, no. But an integrated man.
Yeah.
Wow. That is like what every woman is seeking out there. A man that is integrated, that knows who they are, that is able to say their yes is their yes, or no is their no. They can shake on it. Their word is everything, right? And when you started stepping into that of like total honesty, brutal honesty, right? It did something in me that I was like, I can trust him now because he's not coming and BSing me or just being like a nice guy.
Yeah.
Trying to be nice. So that's something that I've appreciated your growth in this area because it's one that I deeply admire and deeply respect because I see you showing up differently. So I love that advice for the guys. Absolutely. And I think that what happens in the early stages of recovery too, many men and not you, but other men, and this, we've seen it a lot. It's been a pattern that they're like, yes, dear. Yes, honey. Yes. Yes. Everything is yes, right? Because they're trying to fix the stuff that they did.
Yeah.
They've done a mess of their life, right?
Yeah.
It's hit the fan
several
times, right? So because of what they've done, now they're trying to just appease everybody and they lose their voice. And it is really sad to see that when we have couples that come in where you see the woman is like coming across with all this power, all this energy. And basically he's like, yes, ma'am. Yes, dear. Yes. How far that way? It's sad. It's a shell of a man. And we understand that the process, he'll eventually get there. It's going to take a while. But what you just said of like finding your voice, of making that clear distinction of even when your recovery really started, going forward, was when you actually decided to be brutally honest and be you,
Yeah.
not showing up with a filter.
Right. To be clear.
Yeah.
To be clear.
Yeah.
Have clarity. Be honest. Be open of things. And that'll go a long way
Yeah.
in the relationship, especially in the recovery, repair stage, and to help your wife, for her to start like talking, for her to start feeling okay with coming close to you, near to you, with her words, with her conversation, with anything that's happening in her mind. That opens the door that she feels sure and secure in your strength to hold those conversations and not go crazy on her.
Yeah. And that's
Even
such a
what you're
part.
saying,
I love what you're
yeah.
saying, because that's a part of maturity too. Like, your wife wants to feel protected, wants to feel that you are safe to, to be able to have these conversations. So the advice that we would give women, and sitting on this end, would be like, be honest. Tell him.
Say it.
Say it.
I say, girl, say it.
Just say it. Yeah.
Say it.
No, and I love that, because it's so important that when our husband does come and say like, hey babe, what's going on? I've noticed you quiet. I'm fine. And that I'm fine. No, she's not. She's not fine.
No.
She's got all the windows open in her brain, right? And it's just creating still that gap of separation, of isolation for her, and dishonesty. It's very dishonest when we are unable to really say that. I think if he's at a place where he's giving you the invitation to, hey, share this, all right, I'm going to just say it.
Yeah.
This is what I'm going to say. And his place will be then not necessarily to fix whatever she's saying,
No.
but to listen.
Yeah.
To listen. And this is something I know that we've practiced for many, many years already, that you come in just almost curious. What's going on? The curiosity. And then you're not trying to, we do this or that. No, you just listen, and you give me the space to just like get it out,
Right.
so I don't have to carry it. So for the wives listening, you are not to mother him. You're not his mama.
No.
You're not his mama.
He's
You're
a
not
grown
his,
man. He can take it.
You're not his counselor either.
No.
You're his partner for life.
Yeah.
And as a partner, we get to share what's going on in our little kingdom, and then figure out, okay, how can we move our marriage forward? And I think that's something that we've done well over the years. And the couples that we've worked with, we have seen them do strides in this area.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the things that may seem like that makes sense, but you don't apply them, then you stay stuck.
Yes.
So.
Yes. And I feel that for women out there, you would do a great service. I don't know if that's the right word. Or I'll say it this way: you'll make a great disservice to your marriage by saying, if he notices something in you, in your demeanor, in the way you look, like if you feel sad and what you're experiencing, and if he's identifying these things, those are great. That's an area of growth for him.
Yeah.
He's trying to, and then you say, nothing. What's going through your mind? Nothing.
You just gaslit him.
Yeah. So that doesn't work. I think it's better if you would say, there's a lot of things in my mind that are really hard, I'm struggling with. I'm not ready to share them right now.
Yeah.
That would be much better.
Yeah.
Because one, you're acknowledging that he was right, that he identified something inside of you, and that he's caring for you. He's looking at you.
Yeah.
He's looking to see how he can
Help.
serve you and help and listen to you. And that's important. And the other part that you did, you acknowledged you were true to yourself, saying the truth, and also saying, I'm not ready to talk about it right now. That's perfect. That's okay. But that moment you created the right environment to continue to grow that.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so good. And it's true that the honesty that has to be brutal honest from both sides is so critical to start restoring that emotional intimacy between you, right? So that's something that we've seen work. We've seen that it helps couples move forward, not be continuing stuck in those cycles of just like, well, I don't know if I should say this or not. So this is for couples that are in recovery. But let's talk to couples that maybe you just got married and you're still learning each other's language. You're still learning, okay, like how do I communicate with my spouse about this? And if you establish this since the get-go,
Yeah.
it will be so much easier 20 years into the marriage where you're avoiding each other or trying to like, step cautiously around one another. No, God created marriage that we would be completely naked and unashamed.
Yes.
But not only naked body to body, but emotionally naked. And when we start trying to think of what the other might, could, would, maybe do, respond, react, that is not going to get you
No.
anywhere in emotional intimacy. On the contrary, it's going to have you all covered up, kind of protecting yourself of like, oh, well, I don't know if I can really be me with this person, right? So we want for you guys to have a red hot marriage, and that's honest, open, and transparent with each other. And it requires you bringing even the ugly stuff that you're carrying or that you're thinking about to the surface.
Yeah. I think that when you and I got married, we came from a background that we loved. I mean, we grew up as Christians. We were leaders, like later pastors, but like how we grew up affected a lot the way we fronted conversations, the way we engaged in real conversations.
True.
And a lot of times that never happened because we were always taught to like pray about it. We're always taught to believe the best. We always taught to trust. We always taught all these different things that come into play when you're ready to talk about something serious, something that you see in your partner that you don't agree with, that you want to challenge, that you want to have a conversation about. And I think that some of those moments that we maybe had those thoughts in our mind, we never shared them, and we just kind of left them in the background because of our upbringing, right? And I think that as you mature, now you're married, right? You're married, so you made a mature decision. So now you have to learn this skill set that is going to carry on for the rest of your life. And if you start building it at the beginning, at the front end of your marriage, that skill set is only going to mature with you as you both grow into the future. And this the skill set of sitting down and sharing just like your unfiltered heart and mind, it's going to be like a relief to your soul whenever you're able to do that. And how awesome to be that with a person that God has for you, that you shared vows with, that you could be open in that way right from the start.
Yeah.
It's something it's a new level of starting a marriage in the right direction, and you'll be doing that for the rest of your life.
I agree. That is really, really good. And I think that one thing too that happens that whenever you get married, and especially like we got married when we were 21, we were like babies.
We're babies.
I don't know why our parents let us do that, but that was
great.
that's
I
another
wanted to
story.
elope. I wanted to take you, but you never wanted
to go.
You refused.
But when we were really young too, so we showed up as kids trying to have an adult relationship, and we've had to learn along the way that we had to actually grow up in this. So
And we did,
yeah. But emotional maturity takes time. The way that we expedite that emotional maturity is by going to counseling. Yes. Also reading lots of books, listening to podcasts, doing all the things, right, that can maybe give you a little shortcut into that. And then you learning how to even show up regulated so that you can have good conversations with someone. But when we lack those things, right, you may lack them. Maybe you come from a background where you never had that model to you. I certainly did. I know you didn't, so when we don't have that, then it's our responsibility to gain those tools so that we can then show up in a marriage where we are adults, where we are able to have hard conversations, right? And that's work that we all get to do. Like, you don't arrive. I love
Yeah.
what you said at the beginning. Like, it's not a destination. It really is a journey. Life is a journey.
Yeah.
Marriage is a journey. Individual growth is a journey. And as we continue to learn these tools, we're going to be able to implement them and then have a greater, relationship together. So
Yeah.
we've done a lot of that.
A lot of that.
Yeah.
I think what people hear from our, from Red Hot Marriage is this. You and I are mentors. We've been, pastors for many years. And I say that not just to keep on, saying the same thing, but to share that we have depth of experience, not only in dealing with couples, but also in our own conflict, in our own growth that we needed to do, all the things that we had to learn that are filtered now through our experience. And I'll say this, everything that you want to know about growing and having a better marriage, hey, nothing is gate kept. Everything is in the internet. Like, you can go do a search, find specific what you need, and it's there. What you're getting here in Red Hot Marriage is all that stuff that we have learned, filtered through our experience, that is not limited for, from us to share with you. We can tell you exactly as raw as it came, as raw as we experienced it, and now we're on the other side. Now we can live in the fruits of our labor, if you will, right? All the things that we did, but you get that from here.
It was a trail of tears.
Trail of tears, yeah.
It has been a trail of tears, but there's also been a trail of joy that
Yes.
that has been the outcome. But no, most certainly. And I think what happens too is that sometimes couples are like, they'll come to us and they're like, fix me, fix me. Well, we don't live with you. We're not in the bedroom with you. We are mentoring you, and we're seeing kind of
Yeah.
like, a 360 of all that's going on, right? And it's like, okay, now we're going to just like zoom in what is going on, here. And then we try to then zoom out. I'm like, all right, let's do the steps that we need to do to get them to this place that they're really wanting to go. It requires work. It requires, just like you said, looking a little bit deeper. If your spouse is coming to you and say, hey, babe, you really feel disconnected. Okay, well, she or he knows you better than anyone, right? So if they're telling you that, maybe that's where you go internally and you're like, okay, what am I doing that is making them feel disconnected? What's going on in me? Can I even like pinpoint what in me is coming across like that to them?
Yeah.
And those are things that then we have to work on ourselves to be able to then show up the way that we need to be showing up in this relationship. And I think that that's something that we've done really well, that we've done our couples work together, but we've done a lot of individual work to then show up authentically us in the relationship.
So the marriage cannot be as can only be as healthy as both of you are
That's
individually.
right, individually.
Right? So if you have one person that is doing all the work, they're reading, they're learning, they're doing what they need to do to learn the skill set, then your marriage is not truly healthy. Only one person is healthy,
Right.
and trying to carry the load of the relationship, and eventually that has a limit. So what you want to do is you want to take responsibility. You want to own it, and as both of you get healthy, the relationship, the marriage is going to continue to solidify, continue to grow, continue to be completely okay with seasons of trail of tears or moments of joy. And if you're having a moment of tears, guess what? I'm going to be right with you, because I'm okay walking with you through even the hard tears, the hard times. Moments of joy, absolutely, I want to be there. It doesn't matter what, because we created this beautiful marriage that we're connected, and we trust each other, and we're going to continue to grow and build a beautiful red hot marriage.
For sure. One of my favorite scriptures is we are heirs together of the grace of God. And that grace has been given to each couple to be able to live this life out well and to end well too. But sometimes when we are in the thick of it, it's really hard to see hope
Yes.
on the other end. So this is where, mentors come in. This is where getting the right help comes in so that you don't stay stuck in that place, because it's really hard to be in that place where you don't know what to even do, and it can feel incredibly isolating. So if maybe that's you, that you're feeling like, I don't know where to go from here, I don't know what to do, we would love for you to reach out, send us a message, send us a DM, how we can come alongside and help you, because you don't need to stay stuck. You don't unless
No.
you want to, unless you like living there, then we'll leave you alone. But there is hope. There is hope for your marriage. There is hope for you. And there is hope that things can and will change if both of you start doing some work in this area. So yeah, that's something that comes up in sessions all the time. And we thought, let's unpack this in person so that, maybe can help more people than just.
And I think that this conversation is going to help a lot of, women and men, men that are trying to see how they can help their wife, and maybe their wife is navigating a lot of heavy thoughts that they want to communicate, and they're trying to control the conversation, the outcomes, all those different things. And hopefully, today, honey, we help some women out there that are having to deal with that.
We can help the guys too, and just like really being present for their wife and just giving them space to unload all the stuff that they've been carrying. Because when men do that, and they let the wife know, hey, it's okay, I'm a strong man, I can hold your pain, that it just makes her rest.
Right.
That, wow, I can actually just relax.
You don't have
now.
to control me.
That's
You
right.
just share it.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, he can handle it. He can.
So honey, I think this has been
It's a good conversation.
great conversation.
We'll keep having more like these, for sure.
Absolutely. So let's keep building
A red hot marriage.
Also, I want to invite you to go in our social media platforms, go on Spotify, Apple, go on YouTube, and subscribe and give us a thumbs up.